as one of the radio hosts on the Capital Breakfast Show alongside Jordan and Sean. Our next guest is usually the one to brighten up our mornings, but earlier this week, Chris Stark shared a very moving announcement on social media.
Yeah, Chris revealed that 2 months ago he was diagnosed with testicular cancer, and although he caught the disease early, Chris believes that he should have spotted the sites even earlier.
After making an emotional return to his radio show, Chris is with us now today alongside Dr. Zoe in the hope that his story will inspire more men to get checked. Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you. I know you weren't expecting to be sitting here and
No, I didn't have this on my 2025 bingo card, if I'm honest.
No, I am sure you didn't, but we're really grateful that you've come here this morning and you're going to have a chat. It was a routine doctor check, wasn't it? It wasn't to do with testicular cancer at all.
No, if I'm honest, if I'm being really honest, I don't really like going to the doctors. It's something I put off. I'd gone to the doctors about something else, and I was just really, really lucky that this doctor, who, you know, has been brilliant probably without realising here, asked me if there was anything else at all that was bothering me. And I had this little thing in the back of my head around... I'm not even sure the language that we're meant to use around this, if I'm honest. Am I allowed to say balls on
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a kind of weird, not feeling, I just wasn't sure about testicular cancer or problems in that area. And I just said to him, I'm not sure really what to do in that. It was kind of, I was awkward about it.
So there was something to do with your testicles that were sore, or they were a little tender?
Well, that was it. I basically just wasn't sure about everything. And whilst I was there, and he actually said to me, look, shall I just do a quick examination? And in that moment, I was like, yeah. And as he was doing that, it felt really sore on one side, but it's always felt sore. So I just put it down to, you know, if
just
you play football and you get someone kicks you
strain or something. Yeah?
It's just something like that. And then at that point, he told me that it shouldn't really feel sore. And that could be a symptom of something else. It should be fine.
Right.
So he then sent me for an ultrasound. And at that ultrasound, I found out I have testicular cancer. Or they strongly suspected it. And it was only then when they kind of made me push my fingers down on it that I could feel that lump. And I'd been avoiding that because there was a bit of a pain.
Well, because it hurt you.
But I just wrote off the pain as like, you know, it's your balls.
Aches and back. Yeah.
And that, if I'm being really honest, made me feel like an idiot. Because the second I could then feel it, and the second they told me it was testicular cancer, or they thought it was, you know, I've got 2 kids, I've got a wife who I love very dearly, and I just sort of felt like, you know, you're an idiot. You're putting them...
You've kind of put these blinkers on when in the back of your head you knew something wasn't quite right.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I went to the doctors thinking that I've got testicular cancer. It was just lucky I went to the doctors, had a check. He happened to mention, you know, should have a look. And I guess that's what I really want to say today is if this resonates with one person who maybe double thinks in the shower tonight to go check themselves, if it's a bit awkward and embarrassing, although I've got used to that embarrassment for me to talk about on the radio or the podcast or here, I'm happy to do that if the end result is one lad checks themselves or knows they've got something going on or thinks they might, but was embarrassed to go to the doctors and just go and do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's really what I want to say this morning.
I think that the importance of what happened was, even though you could trace it back, going, why on earth did I take this risk and not think about making that fuss? Fortunately, in that moment, thanks to the doctor, you did. You've had surgery. You had that quite quickly. That's all turned around, because that must be a real whirlwind as well, Chris. You know, 1 minute you've gone just to have a checkup, and the next thing, your whole world's changed.
Yeah.
So I had the surgery, and the surgery is, again, it feels kind of unusual discussing this morning, but so the surgery, you know, you remove a testicle, which is kind of like, it's quite big news.
Yeah.
But it was fine. Like, honestly, I became really proactive, and I was like, right, let's just get that done. I was still doing the radio at the time. I've got to be honest, I was probably quite high on medication for a couple of those days I did. So sorry to Sean and Jordan.
Jordan said it was quite a week.
Yeah, I mean, it was wild. And I did that, and then I did the chemotherapy last week, which was a decision because it would help increase the odds of it not coming back by having this one bout of chemo. You know, I'm also hyper aware that there'll be a lot of people who are watching this right now who are affected by cancer, either with a family member or someone's going through chemo and having a far harsher time than I am. which I'm very aware about when I try and talk about this, because I feel very lucky, and I'm aware that I'm a lucky one.
Mm-hmm. And so now you've done that preventative chemo, is the prognosis good?
Yeah, so my understanding of it is I'm effectively cured.
Okay.
They monitor you then every month, I think, for the next couple of years, and there is a, you know, there is a chance this comes back. I don't know enough about it, actually, Zoe. I find myself constantly Googling, which is a terrible thing to do. But my way of dealing with all of this and being in communication with consultants and doctors has become a lot more proactive and positive. And you know, since I've been talking about it, I've been amazed by how many blokes, especially, have reached out to me in DMs and messages into the show.
Doctors have called up the show and said, oh, my goodness, the number of people that are coming in for checks now, some people have had, like, 8 a day or...
Yeah, there was a doctor who got in touch, and this was one surgery, saying they'd had 8 people ring up for appointments to get checks.
Wow. Brilliant.
Which is, you know...
So that's already enough, Tris, to understand that it's made a difference.
Yeah,
you being brave and talking about it.
But what I really, really want to happen there is, like, there is a bit of a stigma around this area. We're literally talking about, you know, your privates. But just know, if you're thinking, oh, I should go to the doctors but not doing it, there are plenty of other lads who are messaging me right now who are doing it. Yeah. And I was one of those people. And I just don't want you to end up feeling like me, a bit of an idiot for not having done this sooner.
Yeah.
Zoe, just explain testicular cancer and the importance, as Chris was saying, of getting it early, particularly in young men.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the thing about testicular cancer is that it is very treatable, and over 95% of people who get it will survive it at 5 years. But obviously, the sooner it's caught, the higher the success rates. And yours hadn't spread anywhere else, so you know your chances of it not coming back with the chemo as well are very, very good.
I'd like to think I've got more than 5 years, Zoe.
Yeah, we tend to do that measure at 5 years, because if you clear it 5 years, then you're almost definitely good.
It means you're then going onwards a bit.
Yeah, almost definitely good. Well, but, you know, this is a cancer that affects young men. It's one of those rare cancers that is more common in younger people than older people. The peak sort of age is early 30s.
That surprised me as
well. Yeah, but it typically affects people anywhere from the age of 15 up to 45. About 2,400 cases a year. And like I say, the survival is good if it's caught early. So I think what you're saying is, you know, absolutely right. If people are checking, like, you can't prevent getting testicular cancer. You haven't done anything wrong if you get it. You can't prevent it. But if you do get it and you detect it early because you're regularly checking yourself, then that's the best defence that men have.
Well, look, as you say, the checking is incredibly important.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.